What's up guys, Noah Davidson here, and today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to use the heat map function on Finviz, on the Finviz platform. It is a great little tool that I use just about every day. So let's dive right into it. When you first log into the Finviz platform, your eyes are automatically drawn to that heat map. Now the market is currently closed, but during market hours, that heat map is dynamic. It's popping, the colors are changing, and if you double click on it, it goes full screen. If you are subscribed to the platform, it's updating in real time during market hours. If you are using the platform for free, it's delayed 20 minutes. So make sure you know the difference. And it has all kinds of capabilities. And the better you understand the layout, the more creative you'll be able to be with how you use it. One of the first things you'll notice is as you look at this heat map, you've got bright colors and you see you've got some of the stocks with really big boxes. And the bigger the box, the bigger the company. So you can see Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia are just popping out. It's because they have huge market capitalization. They are major corporations, so they take up a lot of real estate. These stocks are also grouped by sector and industry groups. So when you look at the technology sector, you can see that Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, AVGO, they're all grouped together, and they're also broken down into industry groups. So you see technologies, the sector, software infrastructure, consumer electronics, semiconductors. And if I wanted to look at the semiconductor sector, or I wanted to look at an individual stock, the heat map's interactive. You can click on it, double click on it, and it'll pop stuff open. So if I wanted to look at a chart of Apple, double click, and there's a chart of Apple. Pops up, gives me a quick view of Apple, and I can see a bunch of information and data on Apple below. Really powerful tool. I'm going to go back here to the main button here, and I'm going to click on the semiconductor sector, and that's going to pop open the list of stocks in the semiconductor sector. And then what I like to do is go back and hit the maps button, and now I'm looking at a heat map of the semiconductor sector, and it shows me that. So I'm going to close those down and go back to the main heat map here. Over on the far left top side, you'll see the map filter, and I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see that a little bit closer. That the default setting is the S&P 500, but if I wanted to look at the Dow 30, I could click on that. If I wanted to see just the NASDAQ 100 stocks, I could look at that. If I wanted to look at the Russell 2000, that'll put a lot of stocks on the screen at once. You could look at stocks by market cap. I actually like to click on this world button to get a view of macro market performances globally. So if I'll zoom back out on that, you can see it. I can see what's going on over in China, Japan, Taiwan, India, what's going on in the Eurozone, what's going on here at home. It also is default setting to a one-day performance. So if I wanted to get a bigger view, I could go back that out to like a weekly performance or a monthly performance or year-to-date performance. So I could click on year-to-date and it would update and show me what's going on year-to-date. And I can see some of the biggest movers globally. You could focus on ETFs and get just exchange traded funds, or you could focus on cryptos or futures. You can even go into themes. It's got a lot of functions and capabilities. Now again, I'll go back to the home page and I'll click on it one more time and it just restores all those defaults. Here are some of my favorite tips and tricks on how I use it. I use this all the time to check earnings performance. We are most of the way through earnings season right now, but we got a couple of stragglers who still have to report. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, you can click on earnings date and it'll pop them up by earnings. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this little key down here in the bottom right is essential to interpreting what you're seeing on the screen. So for earnings, it's got these colors, magenta and cyan, and bright magenta is right before earnings with less than 15 days. If it's medium magenta or dark magenta, 15 to 30 days out. If it's bright cyan, earnings was recent. If it's, medium cyan, 15 days, 30 days past earnings. And you can go change that and look at earnings date performance and see how the stocks actually performed. Microsoft got crushed on earnings. Oracle gapped down on earnings. Palantir popped up. Meta popped up. And that key down here in the bottom right changed. You can see it's color-coded by the percentage. And it's important that you pay attention to that key so you know what you're looking at, because as you change filters, that key changes as well. I'll go back to that heat map and show you a couple of other of my favorite scans. I like to go and compare performance by, again, like sector year to date. And I like to look for stuff that's gone down below a high. So I'm going to look at like a 52-week high and how much it's drawn down off of that. This is one of my favorite hacks for finding good stocks that are on sale. They've been beat down. So you look at Oracle. It's down 53.75% off of its 52-week high. Netflix is down 38.7% off of its 52-week high. They're on sale. So if I click on Netflix and I can pop that open, and Netflix recently had a stock split, and so their stock price is trading much cheaper these days. They had a 10-for-1 stock split not too long ago, and it's down at $82 a share and falling. And I can see the RSI starting to climb, and hey, look at that. It's got a 32 PE ratio, a PEG ratio of 1. That's fantastic. It's got an EV over EBITDA of 11.7. And if I was looking to pick up Netflix for my portfolio, well, it's on sale right now, and that's a great way to go about finding investment opportunities. I also like to compare performance and look at, year-to-date performance, for example. And I can very, very easily identify right here that technology's been beat up a bit. Software's getting crushed. But industrials are cranking, they're cooking, energy's cooking, and basic materials are cooking. So with the big AI boom going on right now, there's a lot of infrastructure build going on, and so industrials are cooking. Energy is coming up, and if I wanted to get dig into the basic material companies, and I have an investment thesis, for example, where I'm going to go click on this map here and look at just the basic material companies, and I'm interested in copper because I think that the demand for energy and infrastructure is going to be so high. A data center alone, the copper infrastructure on that, like a bid on that would be something like $300 million worth of copper. So you can see the demand is going to be really, really high. And I could go through here and I can change how this is ranked and filtered. So I can say, okay, over year-to-date performance on this particular sector, I can see, okay, what's performing the strongest. Newmont's cooking, Southern Copper's cooking, Freeport-McMoran's cooking. Again, I could filter it based off of other criteria, fundamental criteria, PEG ratios, forward PE ratios, EV over EBITDA, whatever you really wanted to look for, you can scan and filter for. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to watch this video next, and I'll show you how to use the Finviz screener function to find stocks to swing trade or to position trade. And as always, if you want to learn our systems for trading and for generating cash flow in the stock market, check us out in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video.